Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Buzz Around Town show. Tonight, very fortunate, very lucky. We have a representative from the Knights of Columbus with us tonight, and I think that this is going to be a very interesting talk that we're going to have with the Knights, and hopefully you can share what they do, what they're about, and maybe we can, then you'll know what the Knights are actually been doing in Plaistow for the past 20, 30 years to help our people. Tonight our guest is Peter Richards. I think I'm honored that I'm here talking to Peter. I think Peter will explain. Peter, would you give a little resume about yourself?
Sure. I've been in town since 1985, married, wife Pamela. I have two children, an 18-year-old Lauren who's at Simmons College, and my youngest Jenna is a sophomore at the middle school. I was on the planning board for about 8 years, and as that tenure kind of wound down, I started getting involved with the Knights of Columbus. I've actually been a Knight since 1977, and transferred to the St. Jude Council, which is in Plaistow, in 1989, and so it's a great group of guys and very enjoyable.
I think one of the, and I had talked to Peter earlier, I think he's written up some stuff that the Knights do and where it goes, but I think a lot of people don't know what the Knights are all about. How did they get the name? I think Peter would like to run down what the organization and how they started and what they do. Would you?
Sure. First and foremost, we're a Catholic men's organization. Knights of Columbus started in 1882 by Father Michael McGivney in New Haven, Connecticut. What had happened at that time, it was people in the parish that he was serving had fell upon some hard times. There were a lot of orphans and widows in the parish who were financially struggling. So Father McGivney pulled some men together in the parish, the express purpose of trying to provide some financial security to the orphans and widows in the parish. And that was the humble beginning of the Knights of Columbus. It has really grown over time. Right now there's 1.5 million members worldwide. There's over 10,000 councils, and we're all over the world. We're in Canada, Philippines, Mexico, Puerto Rico, Guatemala, Panama, Dominican Republic, Guam, the Virgin Islands. So it's from very small beginning. It's really grown. Our main mission is really one of charity. We're also very committed to our Catholic religion and our church. We're also tied together in unity, fraternity, and patriotism. In the last 10 years, the Knights have donated well over $1 billion and have donated over 400 million man-hours to charity.
Wow. Well, that's 4 million?
4 million.
Wow.
400 million.
400 million.
400 million man-hours.
At no, and no charge, anything, just
Nope.
donating their time.
Donating their time.
Families.
Yep, and that's a variety of endeavors.
So the Knights is a very huge organization, one of the biggest in the country, would you say?
I would believe so.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, absolutely.
Now, you had mentioned St. Jude. St. Jude is one of the prouder fraternities, the groups. I mean, you all take pride in doing as good as, better than, keep progressing, but there are some groups that it's hard to find people to volunteer, but Plaistow and you people have all been working hard to get more people into the groups to help. And we do have a lot of people that need help, don't we?
Oh, absolutely. It increases over time. We find more and more calls to us for help, and some may come from the town welfare officer, certainly through the Holy Angels food pantry. Knights will get calls from people because we know that there's a good chance that we can help them out, and usually these are people that just have nowhere else to turn.
So there's a lot of stuff that happens with the Knights that people are never aware of. Would you say that?
Yes, absolutely. There's a lot of things I know that some of my brother Knights do that you never hear of.
I know I'm lucky enough to be a Knight. You already talked to me about if I'm not gonna be a selectman anymore, you'd be more than happy to put me
Absolutely.
to work full-time, but I still have a little to do with you, but
Oh,
trust
yeah.
me,
Yep.
that I would look forward to working with you. Do you wanna, give, the people in Plaistow an idea what you do for Plaistow and the surrounding towns, would you?
Sure, yeah, I can,
That's, um,
well, there's a lot of them, and I'll hit some of the highlights.
Why don't you, start?
Basically, St. Jude Council, we're out of Holy Angels in Plaistow, but the members come from Atkinson, Haverhill, Plaistow, Danville, Sandown. They're in this geographic area. And I think we have about 150 members in the council. And St. Jude Council is one of the more active councils in the state of New Hampshire. Some of the programs that we do, we have People Helping People. That was started in 1994 by Jerry Assad. He actually got me involved with this program, and basically it's to assist the elderly, the handicapped, the disabled with household projects and chores that they can't perform, they can't afford to have done for them, or they just can't find anybody to do it because some of it is, like maybe putting up a storm door, or, can you get my screens in, or something like that. But basically, we've painted houses, we've done roof repairs, plumbing and electrical repairs, yard cleanups, runs to the landfill. We built a wheelchair ramp. In fact, the wheelchair ramp we recently built up on Kingston Road. Unfortunately, the gentleman we put it in for passed away, but we made it portable, and we've used it over a couple of times now to be able to, as we get requests for a wheelchair ramp, we have sections built that we can go and put in, because the big expense there is lumber. But a brother like Rob Wollaston is very talented like that, and he came up with the system. So we've done that over and over again. We've also, through this program, recently helped a young mother in Sandown whose husband left her. She had 5 children and was in dire need of help, and we've gone up and done a lot of work at her house just so she could get by. Absolutely wonderful family, but again, just looking for help. So
when you do something like that, Peter, and help, how do you feel? I mean, it must be real rewarding to know that you've gave up a whole Saturday for somebody you really never knew.
Yeah,
It's got to be.
It leaves you with a very good feeling, and I think that's the infectious part about the work that we do. We have a great group of brothers, and I think they all enjoy the same thing. I think they get enjoyment out of helping people and get a personal reward out of it that it's nothing money can buy.
That's very good.
Yeah.
I kind of agree.
Also the People Helping People program, we work very closely with Carrie Children, who is the town welfare director, and now Nikki. We get calls from them to help out folks, and I know occasionally we get calls, again, directly looking for some quick assistance with something. So that's kind of an ongoing thing.
Yeah. And I'm not too sure, but a lot of people don't know this, but the state of New Hampshire, their welfare or any assistance is pretty low. I don't want to argue about that situation, but if it wasn't for the nights, these people, I can't imagine where they'd be, what kind of a spot they'd be in without the nights and other clubs that really donate their time and effort. This People Helping People project is fantastic.
Right,
because,
yeah, absolutely fantastic.
I was lucky enough to be part of several of those, and you just can't imagine the people that really get help from, and they just can't thank you enough. I mean, it's helping people is gratifying, but this program you have is unique, and it's next to none. It's one of the better ones, I think, that's ever hit Plaistow, because being a selectman, we can't seem to dribble any money, or we can't catch any of this. You're catching it all. You guys got a pretty extensive program going on down there.
Yeah, well, it's, again, it's what we feel we can do to help folks along.
And again, sometimes you look for assistance from the public.
Oh, absolutely.
To help, you can always call the Knights, donate, whatever. I mean, they're always, they're just out there. They're not asking for anything, but they do need help to help these people.
Yeah.
So anything you donate or give to the Knights of Columbus, trust me, it's the best money, or this money's really being spent for people that need it.
Yeah, the public and the businesses have been wonderfully supportive of us, and I think a lot of people recognize our name, know some of the good works that we do, and are more than happy to give, doing, I'll talk about Tootsie Roll a little bit, but doing that, people that go by and, you're out there with a canister, and, you see people in front of stores, they don't really stop, but what my experience has been, as soon as you say Knights of Columbus, they stop, reach into their pocket. Maybe it's a quarter, maybe it's $1, but it's it seems to be a very powerful influence for people to take a minute to help out.
Right, and not only that, you go about trying to get volunteers to stand out there. That's a lot of coordination, or getting this thing off the ground every year to get people to stand out there in certain times. And boy, what a...
Well, there's a lot of good brother knights that we have who go about and take the time to run these events, because they do take the Tootsie Roll Drive. You're probably talking upwards of probably 200 or 300 man hours, if not more, just to organize it. Because you've got to go to the businesses, ask if you can solicit outside the store. You go and ask for donations for the candy. You got to call volunteers. You've got to get the money collectors. You have to get the food. You got to collect the money. So it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work. And Tootsie Roll Drive that we do, we support the Kinney Nichols Center in town. We help out the Timberlane High School and Middle School special ed programs, the Pollard School, Atkinson Academy, Career Resources in Haverhill. My brother Knights do a great job running that event.
Yeah, they get a substantial amount of money if things go good.
Yes.
And that money goes right out and just helps neighbors that you'd never know that needed it are getting some assistance. So it's got to be rewarding. Oh, what about the Special Olympics? You do that too, right?
Well, the state of New Hampshire, we give a certain portion to the state of New Hampshire Knights of Columbus, and one of the charities that they support through that collection is the Special Olympics. So they do, yeah.
Have you got anything, as you want to go?
Well, I've got a few more.
I didn't mean to butt in.
No, that's that's okay. We have our St. Jude Golf Open, which is held every year in June, and this year's tournament is scheduled for June 3rd at Apple Hill in East Kingston. This is going to be our 11th year. It's an annual charity golf event, and the purpose of the tournament is to help someone in need in the community. We've had a number of past recipients, a couple that stick out. There was this little girl, it was about 7 years ago, cute as a button. She had cancer. Her parents were, of course, trying to take care of the child in Boston, stopped working, expenses, so we were able to help that family out. We recently had somebody last year who had broken their neck helping a neighbor, self-employed person, had lost their income, and so we helped them out. Actually, that was 2 years ago. Last year, we had a single mom in Plaistow with 3 kids whose husband had passed away with no life insurance and had some financial challenges.
Wow.
So, every year we do pretty well with the tournament. All the net proceeds are to help these folks. We're always looking for whole sponsors. So you'll probably see some publicity about the tournament coming up in the newspapers. So if you happen to be a local business or a person that would like to donate to the tournament or whole sponsors, I can tell you all that money would go directly to the people that we're helping. I have a nephew who lives in Texas who has a very special devotion to St. Jude and has made a wonderful contribution to this year's tournament, the largest single donation we've had to date.
Wow, that's great.
So really heartwarming.
Yeah, there's a lot of good people out there. Absolutely.
Yep. I've got a few more if you want me to run through a couple more. And,
just that golf tournament. Now, people can still get into this golf tournament too.
Yeah, we'll
be bring in a team if they want. Right?
Yeah, they can bring in a team. We try to hold the cost down. I think last year was $100 a golfer. For that, you get 18 holes of golf. You get a sleeve of golf balls. We have a nice steak barbecue after the tournament. Free raffle, and everybody. Last year we sold out. I think the prior year we sold out. And again, you'll see some things running in the newspaper, particularly the Lawrence Eagle Tribune or the Carriagetown News, advertising the tournament.
now when they see it, they'll understand what you guys are doing with this. You're not just playing golf. This is a very serious moneymaker that you guys put on.
Sure.
And the Knights all get together and have a good time because they're the people that put out all this time. I'm not saying that they're not, I don't mean overly good.
Sure.
But you all enjoy your company.
Sometimes.
Yeah, okay. You're all good golfers, I guess, right? Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah, well, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's a good point, because with the golf tournament, if you're going to go out and play around a golf on a weekend with a cart, you're going to spend $60 anyways.
Yeah.
So for another $40-$45, you get a nice meal. Good people, chance to help somebody, and
how can you beat that?
You can't. You can't. You get a lot of the same people coming back year after year because they have a great time.
Well, again, it talking golf, and yet you think, wow, this is great, but the whole purpose is donating to people around our communities.
Yep.
The surrounding towns. We do that. That's right. Blood drives. I know you guys do blood drives.
Yeah, we do 2 blood drives a year. We have Brother Jack McNally, who's been doing it for years. Has a faithful group of helpers down there every year, but typically it's twice a year. The next one's coming up on Good Friday, which I believe is April. Boy, date slips my mind off the top, but generally gets about 60 plus pints. It'll be in the paper. Yeah, you'll see it in the paper, and then it happens again in the fall, I believe, in October.
Right.
And that's twice a year, every year. Jack does a great job with that.
And again, I'm lucky enough to know Peter from 2 different stages in my life and what he does. And I can only tell you, when he mentions his brother Knights, he'd say that these guys, they range in age, and they just unbelievable, caring about people and helping out. It's just, they're a great bunch of guys.
Yeah, it's we help others, but also there's a great brotherhood that goes on. When we talk about brothers, we don't say that lightly, because we are brothers with each other. And the example I like to use, when my folks passed away, my dad passed away in 1996, I believe, and I grew up in Wakefield, and we were having the wake down there, and I really was just getting started with the Knights in terms of, I was doing people helping people and a few other things, but not terribly active per se. And there were 6 or 7 of my brothers that came into the wake. Drove 45 minutes to come down to pay their respects, and
that's the brotherhood.
That's the brotherhood, and I never really understood it to that point, and that just spoke volumes and meant a lot to me in terms of that feeling of camaraderie that you feel.
And did you? I think that's when you really got hooked into it, as far as that good feeling and that brotherhood. And you said, "Gee, these people really care."
Yeah, I knew they cared before that, but it just, it's a little bit, it's there, and
overwhelming at times.
Overwhelming, and if even with our own council, if there's a brother in need or needs something, they're quick to jump and help out. And in this day and age, maybe there's something to be said about that.
It's important, I think, especially working together, and like you said, it's much different than just your neighbor. It's just a bunch of people from different walks of life all going for the same goals.
Right, and it isn't only just the brothers themselves, it's their wives, it's their families that get involved with our endeavors also.
Peter, you were saying something, we were talking the other night about the Knights, and one of the things is the more people that come out or get involved with different organizations, Knights preferably would be nice, but if the more help you get, the less really they have, not that they wouldn't want to do a lot, they can do as much as they want, but it helps the other ones that are putting in double time to relieve them of some of their duties. I mean, to give them some moments that they can relax while somebody else, so the more, the better it is for the right? The more people you have participate.
Absolutely, and it seems to be getting hotter and hotter. I was talking with Ed Thurston from the Lions Club, and we were comparing notes last year, and he was saying the same thing. It's harder to bring new people in. It's harder to retain people, to get them to volunteer, and perhaps it's with the lifestyle today where everything's go, 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 and people have got a lot of irons in the fire, and I think we all understand that and appreciate that. And again, you can just ask people to do what they can do. And,
I guess the best people can do that can't really have the time is once in a while, donate or share or get, anything that could help out the people that, well, and I don't think anybody has the time.
No, I guess we make it.
Okay.
You got a man?
Yeah, I mean, you go to meetings and everything, and I mean, I know you're constantly going every week with the nights, the whole, and that's one of the great things, the nights, when I went through I'm a third degree knight, I think you're fourth degree. Or
no, I'm third. I'm a third.
Okay, when I went through that, I couldn't believe how honored, at the time, it's really a tremendous feeling to be a knight.
Right.
I've always felt like I was a knight in helping people, and I still feel that way, but I think I have to be more in the group to give the feeling I used to get when I had that more time when I started out, and then I became a selectman. So.
Right. Well, we'll get you. We'll get you.
I see you watching me now, but I see you've got plenty of listing there now. I don't want to cut you short.
Well,
Why don't you, anything on your mind? I covered some big things there.
Well, there's a few more. Our Christmas tree sale, which has happened the last couple of years. Brother Andy Gagnon owns a Christmas tree farm on Lover's Lane, just off of Route 108 on the Plaistow Havel line. And 2 years ago, Andy was always selling Christmas trees, but he said, hey, I'd like to donate the net proceeds of the sale to the Holy Angels Food Pantry. If you can get some nights up here to help me on the weekends, we can kind of bring this thing together. And so lo and behold, the first year, 2004, we realized a net profit of about $1,800, which was donated to the food pantry. This year, a little bit more time and effort in promoting it, and some nights were up there in the fall sharing the trees. And we netted almost $4,000 this year, with $3,200 going to the food pantry. And we used the other $800. We had some requests for help from families during the Christmas season, and we used that money to get some gift certificates for folks and stuff during the Christmas season. Wow. But that, just a brother stepping forward and saying, hey, I can do some things here. I've been fortunate, he said, and I would like to, use.
How many people would do that? I mean, he grew those trees, he worked that land, and his way of showing you guys that he wanted to support somebody and things, it's just unbelievable.
It's Andy and his whole family up there. He's got a great family up there, and you talk about having a good time. You go up there, volunteer for a 3-hour shift, and you go up in the field, and it's you've been up there. It's absolutely beautiful. I mean, you can see it's the highest point in Havel, and you look out, and it's absolutely beautiful. But he'll feed you and have a couple of refreshments, and just have a great time. Have a great time.
That was more of the holiday than any place you did, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a nice holiday when you're helping people, cutting trees.
Yep. And plus he had donated some trees to people that were identified through the food pantry that couldn't afford a tree.
Again, the people in Plaistow and surrounding towns, I don't know how far this goes and who's going to watch it, but the food pantry is an interesting. I'm not too sure of. I know my wife constantly has a bag of groceries every week that we bring in the church. Now, that goes to who? I mean, that pantry's constantly being replenished.
Yes.
And so this is an ongoing thing all year round. Now, there's actually people out there that actually are in that kind of need, that they need food, and I mean, a lot of people don't know that. I mean, while we're all home watching our TV, feeling pretty good, I drive my truck, I've been blessed, and yet I never give it the thought that this food pantry, because I know it runs down, you're always replenishing it, we're always at, that really goes out to most of the public out here.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We've got...
It's a great thing.
Joe and Marie Farron from Holy Angels. Joe's a brother knight, and that's a great thing that they do. They just, Marie's a great lady, and God bless her. I mean, she goes out and does it, and and the need is very great. I know some of the people that the Knights have assisted have to use that food pantry, and these are people that are not playing the system. These are people that are doing the best that they can every day. And I know some of their personal stories, and you know, there's one lady, she doesn't realize the food pantry, she came to mind, as a nurse's aide, you know, had four daughters that she was raising, and we helped her for a long period of time through people helping people. And over that period of time, from when I first knew her to recently, I've seen her really run with the little bit of help that we were able to get her. I think sometimes people get into a routine or a rut and just can't seem to get out of it. And then we've seen so many times where you give somebody a little bit of help, and they'll take it in a push, and they'll take it and run with it and kind of turn things around, which is very nice. Very
wow.
nice.
Yeah. I've been there.
Yep.
I know what you're talking about.
Yep.
And that's basically one of the great things about the groups in Plaistow that do help, and certainly the Knights of. I know they do so many things. But you probably couldn't even go through all of them. Is there anything special that has happened recently that you feel is?
Well, there's another event that comes to mind, which is the middle school dances. The teen dances. Those are run during the school year. There's 8 dances that are run. It's on the 3rd Friday of the month at Holy Angels. Basically, it's a sellout. Every time you get 400 middle school kids there. We have a DJ. It's well chaperoned. It's usually somewhere around 20 chaperones. But we do it with a sponsoring youth group. The sponsoring youth group supplies the chaperones, and the sponsoring youth group has the concession stands. And the sponsoring groups could be a lot of the booster clubs at the local schools. You know, the music, the soccer,
So money is generated.
Yeah, everybody, you know, the Knights, you know, we have some money coming from those dances, but the ones that benefit the most are the sponsoring youth groups. So it's kind of a win-win. We just had one in February. It was the post-prom party. Came in. They sponsored. The one in March we're going to be running is for the Chernobyl Children's Project, which the kids come over from Russia. This was the horrific meltdown over there, and you know, a lot of the kids are growing up with cancer, with, you know, the radiation damage, and they come to this area every year. Costs about $1,800 a kid to bring them over. Some wonderful host families that take the kids in, and they get a chance to get some fresh air, go to the beach, go to the mountains, go to Boston for some treatments.
Just a great thing in their life, just to get away. And
I couldn't even begin to imagine what it means for those kids for that to happen. And
boy, that's really extensive. You
Yeah.
know? And this is all based over earning money and taking care of our children, and they're having a ball up there. They finally got a place to go and dance and enjoy and get you know, because New Hampshire is really, I find it's got really no boys club. It's got no, unfortunately, there's a lot of young people that don't have anything. So
Right.
not only are you helping these people
Right.
with their lives, you're helping most of us just knowing our kids are over in an organized dance and having a ball, and they do have a ball. I welcome anybody to go. Come on down, take a look at the kids at this dance. It's worth coming in and taking a look, and I've got to tell you, it's like memory lane. You know,
Yep.
you think these kids don't enjoy it, you got to see it to believe it.
Yeah, no, I was at the last dance, and I hadn't been to one inside for quite some time, and there was a series of episodes that went about that I was the last straw, and I got the call on Wednesday night to get out and oversee it, and I just,
yeah. They're certainly active when they get out there with their friends, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we just walk the floor and just...
I do the parking lot, so I'm not as much, I mean,
Right.
this guy and the rest of the Knights are really the people that put this on, but again, I can't even tell you. You got to see it to believe it.
Yeah.
To do the parking lot, I mean, people are, within an hour, that place is jammed, and we got people we have to turn down because we don't have the facilities to be safe, and this thing is well organized. So these are the kind of things that just intangible. They're unbelievable. That
Right.
that actually go on while everybody's like you said, it's a fast life.
Oh, yeah.
Things are happening, so
Yep.
I can't say enough for that one.
Yeah, no, it's just, you just...
You got any other pets on that thing there?
Well, we do food baskets every year, at Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas. We do them in memory of Father Murphy. Father Murphy was a parish priest at Holy Angels, I think you remember.
Oh.
Father Murphy, quite a character. He just recently passed away this year.
One of the best.
Absolutely.
If not the best.
Absolutely the salt of the earth, and he was very good to the Knights of Columbus, and he was a knight, and very, very well respected.
Love people and you know.
Yep.
So you dedicated this
Well, the Knights did, yep,
in his name.
in his name.
Wow.
And that goes back well beyond me. There's a lot of brothers there that knew Father Murphy rather well. I didn't really know him too well, but they still talk about him, and
Yeah.
they went up, and there was a number of Knights that made the trip up to Manchester when he moved up there to the retirement home. They would go up every week or once a month to go up and visit him, take him out for lunch. I mean,
The Knights never let him not enjoy all his life, I mean, right?
No,
The Knights were with Father Murphy, took good care of him. He was like a father to all of them.
Yeah, no, but they did, you know, did a lot of good things for him. So it just, you know, it's really, you know, it goes on. You know, we do stuff with we sponsor local Cub Scouts. Brother Ron George, there's like 50-plus Cub Scouts. We sponsor their troop every year.
Yeah. Ron George, every time Peter mentions somebody, and I don't mean to be a wise guy or I've been around for a long time, but these are really strong people that grew up in this town. Not that anybody else isn't, but they're dedicated.
Yep.
Ron George is terrific, and boy, I'll tell you, there's some good people. Every name you mention, these people, and they got a plate full of their own life.
Well, we've got a couple. I mean, Joe Gory, who runs the team dances, he's the music director at Holy Angels, and Joe's got a full plate. He's at Havel High School over there, and he's in their music program, and tells me about some of the things he's doing. He's running a kids trip someplace, this and that, and it's just, you know, Joe, how do you do it? But it's all, you know, you try to balance, and, you know, we're always being occasionally pushed.
And you've never, ever heard a knight brag.
No, I mean,
I'm having a hard time getting you to say things a little bit more than I thought, but that's always the way it's been.
Yeah, I mean, this is, you know, tonight tonight was just to, you know, to try to get
people more
understand what the Knights do. It isn't a thing that we like to boast about what we do, and that's certainly not the intention tonight, but just to tell people what the Knights do and what we're about. And so when, you know, you do see us running an event or perhaps asking for support, I think it's important that if folks understand that a little bit more and what some of the things we do, then maybe it makes our job a little bit easier going forward.
And I must say that between you and all the people that I know certainly don't have enough things going, and they certainly don't have to go out and help anybody. And the people you're helping are the people that are in our towns.
Right.
That how fortunate we are and how unlucky they are. And like you said, you give them a little shove, and there's a lot of real success stories out there while you're helping people. So that's really good.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I should have took over the Knights a long time ago. I'll be there, Peter. I'm starting to get all jeeped up about it because I'm so happy to hear all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it just, you know, there's one story after another, and that's just, you know, a lot of things that I never hear about that I know go on.
Maybe that makes us a little, you know, Plaistow, Sanda. I think this is just a great bunch of people, in my opinion, okay? Sure, they work hard and everything, but for some reason, they get the job done.
Yep.
I mean, there's no welfare, no this. Somebody out there is doing a lot of extra work that we don't know about, and you're an example.
We're one of the examples. I mean, there are other groups that do a lot of things.
Well, I think you share that a little, so it balances out in probably a great way.
Yeah, I mean, we've done some co-projects with the Lions Club, and we've endeavored a couple of things, and you know, so there's some cooperation and communication going on, and you know, so
we're very lucky to have both of you. I mean, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, they're good people. You said I mean, all of them are our neighbors too.
Yep.
And they just, you know, this way, we're over here and they're over here, but when you really look at it, we're all a team.
That's right, absolutely, absolutely. We're all trying to do the same thing.
Well, if there's anything, I don't know how long you want to, and not that people...
No, it's
I want to sum it up to some feelings over anything. You got any plans coming up, or if people need, or at least want to talk to somebody that they have a slight problem, or people helping people, how would they do that? Just call the Knights of Columbus? I mean, how would you go about, I mean...
you know, if there's a lot of Knights out there, people may know them. Certainly, we try to advertise some of the things that we're doing. There is a P.O. box number, but right now I'm not sure what that number is. Right. So,
whole of Holy Angels Church, and chances are they can direct you to somebody. Would that be wrong, or would that be?
That could be a possibility, though I can't speak for them because
their phone keeps ringing.
Their phone keeps ringing. Yeah. Their phone keeps ringing, but certainly I think Nikki Carr
at the town hall,
the town welfare officer, is probably a good.
Very good.
Is a good bet. I hope Nikki doesn't mind that, but I think she's.
I think that's what Nikki's all about when you take over that kind of area. I mean,
right. Like I said, we had a wonderful relationship with Kerry Georgian for a number of years.
Yeah, Kerry was a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Again, one of those people that she worked for the town, but she was so dedicated in helping the elderly and the people that had less. And you know, it doesn't take long, especially today, to fall through the cracks. I really think that what's going to happen, this is just my opinion, and I thought about it, with the economy and the way everything's going, it's getting harder for people to live.
Absolutely.
Okay? And so I think that these groups are really going to have a lot of pressure on them to meet the needs.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
That's probably the hardest thing.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely.
You know, I don't know what to say, other than the fact that we're very proud of the Knights. Plaistow is, being a selectman is certainly a job where, and I didn't know if I wanted to get in that. I'm going to get killed for this one, but I look up to all the Knights and the Lions for what they do, and I take my hat off, and I'm so glad to hear that you guys are out there, and especially I know you've been involved, and I said, boy, Peter Richards is a guy, and I know you got a lot on a plate, but I know you've been a busy man. Nobody out there will know. It's more than just this, I did this. This is all a bunch of people getting together, organizing, making sure safety, making sure the elderly get, you know, people helping people. There's so many people, they just want their gutters cleaned. You go up there and clean them, but you got Larry Gill goes out there quite often, and he's been he's a selectman. But the point is, we're selectmen, but we're still Knights. We care about people. We care about our people. I mean, I'd be nice to care about everybody. I mean, this deal down in New Orleans, down there, I mean, that's tragic. Well, we got little things, not little things, but believe me, there's a lot of things going on around here people don't know about. So we need to make sure we take care of them, and with groups like you, at least we.
Well, you can't fix everything, but if you can just do a little bit, one little bit at a time, that's what you have to do, and it's always about trying to strike a balance. And
I think you did it.
You can ask my wife sometimes. I don't. But no, you're in my. You
never asked the wife about anything when it comes.
Yeah, but you really can't do it without being supported by your family.
You're right.
And they've put up with a lot of, and not only myself but other Knights I know, and you have to have their support, and you know, without it you just can't do it.
I think it takes special people to do special jobs, and this is not for everybody.
No, it isn't.
But if anybody wants to get more out of their life, they certainly should get involved. And we have the same thing with the town. We have no more volunteers. And I'm not saying anything, but, you know, the town, we go to set up committees, we can't get anybody. So hopefully people that listen to this show, somewhere along the line, get out there and help out a little if you can. And if you can't, help out the Knights with donations or anything you have. Jesus, Bob's throwing me off, right? Well, I want to thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
I don't mean to shut you off, but
No,
I'm getting the word here.
Yep.
But I want to compliment you. I
Thank you.
appreciate you coming, and I honestly thought you did a good job, and I think what you said made a lot of sense. I didn't have to go over anything. And I wish you all the luck in the world, and anytime you want to come back with any projects or anything, you're welcome, Peter.
I appreciate that.
Thank you very much for tuning in and dealing with me and the buzz around town, but I was very lucky tonight. I had Peter Richardson, the Knights of Columbus, and for every Knights of Columbus out there, you did a great job, and the Lions that go out there, and we'll be having them on pretty soon to tell us about some of their projects. So I want to tell everybody, thank you very much, and